too much of a hurry. Okay, third one goes to Mr. Cutchall, and it's what are your positions on number 1, the Second Amendment, and number 2, abortion?
Okay. My positions on the Second Amendment is I was born and raised in Fulton County. I hunt, and I truly uphold the Second Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. Second of all, abortion. I have a very strong belief in life upon conception. I feel that we have a new individual. And the right to abortion is a term that should not be used because there should not be such a thing. Who is going to be the advocate for the unborn child? And so we, as a teacher, I addressed that question quite often to my students when we were doing our health education. And it's amazing when someone thinks that fertilized egg is a person. Some people believe at conception. Others believe when the heart beats a few months later. Others believe it's not until the umbilical cord is cut. My personal belief is it is a person. It has rights at the moment of conception, and that right is precious. That life is precious and should not be taken away. I don't care what the situation is. I really believe that that unborn child has rights just like you and I do. And so that would be my position on those two issues. Thank you.
As far as the Second Amendment, I'm proud to say that I've known my great-grandfather and my grandfather, of which taught me how to use firearms, how to hunt, how to fish, and I firmly believe that it is the right of every citizen of this country, county, township, that we do have the ability to carry, to use weapons for self-defense as well as for sporting. And I do support the Second Amendment. As far as the view on abortion, I do not agree with abortion. That I believe that life is at conception, and that it is sacred and it's a blessing from God, and that we need to nurture that. Who knows what that next young life will bring, the cure for cancer or any other type of a dilemma that might be upon us. So every opportunity that's there should be born and raised. Thank you.
Like predecessors, I, of course, was raised in here in Fulton County. I don't know how many guns that he would have. I have quite a lot. I love them. I really support the ownership of guns. It's something I think it's in every Fulton County. It's very easy to answer that to the affirmative. Abortion, on the other hand, to me, is a little bit more touchy. I, of course, support both of them. I feel that we should not have abortions, but there's always going to be the exception allowed for the case of the mothers, if it's going to kill her or something, or in the case of rape, you know, that you might have to have it. Why these questions were even asked, I wonder myself, but that's how I feel about abortion.
I enjoy hunting, and you got to do that with a gun. I firmly believe that there's a lot of countries that don't have that liberty, and that's a freedom that was given to us by our founding fathers, and it was given to us for a reason. And I enjoy that freedom, and I hate to see that freedom leave these good old United States and Fulton County. As far as abortion, I've often pondered the question: freedom of choice and freedom of life. I think when a couple makes the choice then they have given up their right to make any other choices. So I am firmly opposed to abortion, and when it comes to an unborn, they must be protected with all our ability, because right now there's a lot of things that are going on that we're funding that shouldn't be. So in some ways, I wish I could do more. Thanks.
I also support the Second Amendment. I was taken out as a young girl with my father to go deer hunting on several occasions until I figured out I couldn't stay warm enough. So I gave it up. However, I still have family members, and I have 2 youth going turkey hunting this Saturday. So yes, I do believe in it. However, I do not promote the misuse of weapons. As far as abortion goes, I feel if God created an individual, he or she was created for a particular reason, so I am opposed.
I firmly believe that it's every citizen of the United States' right to protect themselves by keeping and bearing arms. I used to hunt, however, I don't anymore. I'm sort of like Lisa. I just got tired of the cold. But I firmly believe it's every citizen's right to keep and bear arms. As far as the abortion question, I would say I am 95% opposed to abortion. However, there are circumstances that may warrant it, in my opinion, such as endangerment of the life of the mother, or, as was previously stated by Mr. Lees, victims of rape and so forth. So, thank you.
I also support the Second Amendment. Everybody should be able to bear on our constitutional right. And people fought guys to have that right. Abortion, straight up, it's murder. That's all the way I feel about it. No ifs, ands, or buts.
I should warn you all that at some point during the forum tonight, Ellen is going to have to change the videotape. So I hope I don't have to interrupt anyone, but it might be between candidates answering the same question. So, but if it stops, we want to capture all of this because it's going to be posted on YouTube. So I might have to interrupt you in the middle of your speech. The next question goes with Mr. Haggerty. You go first. It says, do you support the spending of $200,000 for a JLG turning lane? Why or why not?
The turning lane, I believe, is a safety functional function part of the community. It's needed to allow the egress of the trucks, to allow the traffic to get through. And from that standpoint, I do feel that it was, or is, a expenditure that needs to take place. It's part of putting infrastructure in place to take care of a community's need. And thank you very much.
I just heard about that the other night, this turning lane up there. I, of course, agree with him. I mean, it's basically being put in for the safety of vehicles and so the traffic flows around the vehicles. I mean, big trucks does take a long time for them sometimes to turn in. So therefore, you need a lane, especially so that other vehicles can get by and it's not backed up. So yes, I do support it.
That's an excellent question. To have the safety on the highway, I go back and forth to Mercersburg, and in the mornings and in the evenings, there's a lot of traffic coming out on 16. And I can see the necessity of it for the safety of JLG. I guess I would ask if there would be any help from JLG because they are benefiting from it. If there would be any, I know we want industry here in this county to survive and to prosper, so a lot of things would have to be taken into consideration. But I could agree with that, and I'd also ask some questions whether some of the expenditures could be given to JLG as a company, a multi-million dollar company. Thanks.
$200,000 sounds like a lot of money to me right now, but I would like to further review budget information and facts before stating yes or no.
As far as the question concerning the JLG turning lane on Route 16, I myself personally don't see a need for it. With the fact being that there's another entrance into the plant, and the entrance being off of Saito Road, I believe is where most of the shipping is done currently now. There are other avenues in. I have traveled Route 16 for the majority of the last 28 years and really don't see a safety issue that would warrant the expenditures of this type of money. So that's where I stand on that issue.
I kind of agree with Rick. I've been in the fire company and I don't ever remember going through an accident scene right there outside JLG with a turn. That kind of money could be used elsewhere. If the study's done by the state or somebody else and proves me there's a danger, I'd be all right, go for it. But until then, I don't see a need for it.
In regards to the question, do I support the JLG turning lane? I do support it. The surveys for this were done several years ago before the entrances that are currently in existence, as Rick mentioned. It seems to me, as some other candidates stated, that is a large sum of money. However, in the area of safety, we can't put a price on the life. And I know we haven't had any, at least that I know of, and I think Mike mentioned that he's a fireman and hasn't had too many accidents there, if any. But the purpose of the lane, I think, is important for the safety of the transportation for JLG. JLG is our main provider of jobs for the economy. And I believe, and I'm not going to mention any numbers because I don't know off the top of my head, but the county is providing a portion of the JLG turning lane. We're not paying for the whole thing. But I do believe the 200,000 probably is our portion. I'm not exactly sure on that. So yes, I do support it.